I believe in giving credit where credit is due. So before we get into the episode, we are going to name our sponsors. So the sponsors of season 4 are Levo Oil. They were gracious enough to give us a home infuser to be able to make some amazing recipes this season. If you are someone who has been wanting to make infusions at home a little bit easier, definitely check out shop.levooil.com and see if there's something you just have to have in your kitchen. In addition to Temperance Home and Bar. I love Melissa. Melissa has been a true sponsor of our show, working on almost every season with us, and I just love her Botanica. Melissa goes above and beyond to ensure that all of her clients leave super duper happy and are in a better spiritual place than when they came. Please check out the show notes so you can follow her on social media and check out her Etsy page. Let's get into the episode. Hey, beautiful people, I'm Bex. Well, let me just start with a sigh because I don't know about you, but this Venus retrograde has got me in my feels, which, by the way, we are in Venus retrograde, which, if you are not familiar with what that means, Venus is the planet over love, relationships, investments. It's that time where you really need to be gentle with yourself and analyze how you are in relationships, the types of relationships, you allow in your life. In addition to focus on what and who you're investing in, be very comfortable with your appearance. Don't do anything dramatic. Don't change anything. Don't cut your hair. Don't change up your whole makeup routine and spend a lot of money on things that you might not necessarily love. These are just suggestions, live your life as you want. It's going to be a love revolution, essentially, within yourself. And you're going to be realizing parts of yourself that are going to be hard because it's in Capricorn, and those earth signs tend to come in hard, but you come out on the other side better. And sort of with this inner working and realizing things about myself and being patient and gentle, I've been doing a lot of thinking back and seeing that I'm a very different person than I used to be. I'm trying to change. I'm trying to end a lot of those generational curses. I used to have the bad tendency to really lash out and get angry, and it's not that I don't do that from time to time, because I do, but it's like that phrase, when you're tired, you stop. I'm really just feeling that. I'm just not at a point anymore where I want to argue or have a disagreement with someone who is so intent on misunderstanding me. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of their time. It's just not healthy. And I'm just kind of over it. And I know that I used to be the kind of person who sometimes would pick a fight just to pick a fight. And not that I won't be from time to time, because old habits die hard and it's that Gemini moon of mine, but I am trying to be better. And if you've listened to the show, I have always said that I am a bruja who tries to get in touch with my ancestors and decolonize my practice, whatever the fuck that means, right? Finding all these plants and just trying things out and like fucking around and finding out in the best way. I feel like it's made my practice so much stronger. And, there are ways that my practice could get stronger, and I'm working to do that. I'm working to learn more, and I'm working to be able to be more educated in this, because I don't want to pass along incorrect information. And I know that we're all on different paths in our journey. We're all in different places, and that's okay. But I think the most valuable piece of information that I want to tell you right now is you just have to be gentle with yourself, because no one gave us a manual for how to be and how to deal with all this like stuff and not knowing where we came from. Because like, I can't speak for everyone, but as the descendant of Indigenous people, there's so much about my family history I don't know, which was intentional, right? And being first generation from like Mexico, my family, they were from the rancho. Like, they didn't have the time and or resources to look into all that. And I've started to dig a little bit, and it's been very helpful. On my mom's side, we've been able to find that about 3 generations away from me, I have some African roots In addition to, on the other side of my mom's family, there are relatives from France. So it's interesting, to see both parts play out inside of me, and there's a lot of just trauma and things, that they've passed on that's now arrived to me, and wisdom, I guess, too, that's now arrived to me. But with doing this research to different parts of my ancestors and whatnot, it's been making me very interested and curious about, brujeria and magic and just all of these different things, right? Because even though I don't like to admit it, right, it's undeniable that brujeria is the combination of indigenous practices, Jewish influence, Catholicism. There are all these different things that combined to what brujeria is now. I think up until this point, I've been maybe lying to myself and maybe even lying to y'all, because we have to admit to ourselves that Catholicism is a major part, because it is. I've been interested in searching, because I like to come at things from like that academic standpoint. What was that catalyst that caused the fusion, right? Because something happened, like something, there was some sort of impact. But I've been more curious, I guess, into things in regards to Mexico and how it impacted the land that is Mexico now. And Cortez arrived in the area of what is now Mexico City in 1519. And the Mexican part of the Spanish Inquisition started around 1571. And around that time, King Philip was in power. It was no longer Isabella. She was dead at this point. And he opted for bishops to decide like what was blasphemous and who needed to die and et cetera, et cetera. And as they were converting indigenous people through whatever methods they used, they were a little less brutal than what had happened in what had happened in Spain up until this point. And if it wasn't seen as like offensive or bothersome to how to practice Catholicism, it was okay. And that's why you see just a big difference in Mexican Catholicism and Spanish Catholicism, Italian Catholicism, French Catholicism, just because there's just so many more. It was like more of a melting pot. There were all these different cultures that, because it was like New Spain or whatever at the time, like all of these different things were molding together, all these different traditions. You had, indigenous traditions, Jewish traditions, just all of these different things just having to hide in plain sight. I think the thing that's like difficult, and I know causes me a lot of difficulty to accept, is the church. This harmful institution that exists. I mean, I have religious trauma, not personally. I think my family, my parents did a good job, especially since they immigrated to a place where they didn't really have the time to keep an eye on me, and they didn't necessarily want to spend the funds to pay to send me to Catholic school. So I feel like it wasn't as heavy in my life as it was on theirs. But when I talk to my parents, they definitely have a lot of, even if they don't want to deal and or acknowledge it, religious trauma. And in my extended family too, whether it be emotional, physical, mental, sexual, a lot of people not that far connected from me saw a lot of terrible things happen to them because of this institution. I think a lot of us have to accept that Catholicism is more than just the church, like, and there are people who are able to practice it and it doesn't harm. And I know that it's hard to disconnect that from all of the harm and destruction and the fact that Isabella was manipulated by Columbus, although she was terrible and shit too herself. I'm not defending her, but I am saying like she was manipulated and encouraged to send all of these conquistadores to expand the Catholic Empire. And I know there's all that. I'm aware, I'm fully aware. But the hard truth, right, is that we are not brujas, we are not brujos, we are not brujex. We can't really claim the title unless we can accept that Catholicism is a huge part of the practice. And indigenous traditions and all these other traditions also played a part. These traditions that our ancestors held were able to continue on because they weren't offensive under the scope of Catholicism in Mexico. It was acceptable. Their herbalisms, their remedios, all of these things continued on because, they were able to still practice them. They were able to still do them. They were just forced to do it in a different way. And I think sometimes it's like maybe we're projecting, right? Maybe it's not that we hate religion, we just hate how it's made us feel. And we hate how it's made other people feel, and we hate how it's hurt people, and it continues to hurt people, and like we just don't want to associate with that. I think for me that's a big part of it. This season, which is funny, has been all about cannabis, which I think is a big help in opening my mind, has also led me to change my mind because I don't want to be this rigid person who critiques people who are just trying to find their peace, right? And if Catholicism is your peace, then by all means, you gotta follow your peace. But in order to really be the bruja I want to be, I have to accept it. I have to understand that kind of just like anything, right? You have to know where it came from, all the basics, all the knowledge, to then do it yourself. That's something that all of us have to do in our own practice. We have to go back to basics and we have to really learn all of these elements that our ancestors passed along that have led to us, because we really do have to be grateful and appreciate that wisdom and knowledge that they've shared with us. I always used to be on board for the phrase, we are not our ancestors, but how fucking disrespectful is it? Because our ancestors survived and we lost some along the way, and we lost traditions along the way. But there's so many things that, if you really think about it and you really pay attention, that your family does, that were pushed along and are now with you, and they're going to continue to be with you. And we just need to be more grateful. This is my reminder to all of you, but specifically myself. Like, we need to be more grateful. It's really easy to dwell on the fact that there's so much we don't have and that was ripped away from us. But there's so much we do have. And I think that's something we should be fortunate and blessed for, is that a lot of us have community and a lot of us have that support system that is there for us. Not everyone had that love and support. I love the phrase echa la mano because it's real. You always have someone who te va a echar la mano. When I first started out of college in commercial radio, I had a white dude help me. Shout out to Drew Patterson. We met at the Point many moons ago. Cool dude. He does voiceover work. Super rad. Wishing him the best. I had someone help me. I wouldn't be here doing this podcast here if I wouldn't have had all that experience perfecting what I did and getting to a point. I cared so much about creating content that felt true to me. I wouldn't be here. And I think that it's really easy when we've struggled to feel like people haven't helped us or that we don't have people help us. But we do. No one gets anywhere alone. My little brujas, and brujos out there, we just got to start to love ourselves more. And we got to really start to love the parts that we don't like. And I know a big part of that is Catholicism for me. I really think that you should check out Daphne La Hechicera. She's an amazing resource, and she has really helped me be more aware of the fact that brujeria and Catholicism go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. We don't have to believe all the parts, that our family did. We just have to find the parts that we like. We just got to find the way that it works for us in our practice. So yeah, I hope that this Venus retrograde is kind to you. I hope you make a lot of deep realizations about yourself. Oh, and two last pieces of business before I head out. There will be 3 more episodes of the season, and the goal is to have them all out before the 1st. And then I'm going to take some time. I'm going to take some time to sit back, really think about what I want my next season to be, because I love this show. I'm not really sure what I want to do next, and I don't want to just throw a season at you like I did in season 3. That, I feel like seasons 1 and 2 were a lot more thought out. Season 3 kind of put me in a weird spot. Season 4 has been great. It's allowed me to really focus on cannabis, which is important to me and a big part of my life and my practice. And it's allowed me to connect with really rad people, and I'm looking forward to doing more things and collaborating with more folks in the industry. In addition to that, because I want to end the season with a bang, I'm sure you're aware at this point, Soberto, who you remember, who's been on 2 previous episodes this season just because he's amazing and I feel like I could talk to him forever. We collaborated on a bracelet collection. So far, we have 2 designs. The first one is our kitchen bruja because so many of us, we were lucky to have our amas make food for us and just really show their love through food, which I think is truly a gift, right? So that's one of the first designs that we made. And then we just released a second one. We call it the Mystic. And it's for all of the babes who are just into reading tea leaves, tarots, can see ghosts, chill with cats. If that sounds like you and you're a fan of the show, definitely check out the link. They're cute. We like to be cute. Besties, we want you to be cute. So check it out. We have a couple more designs coming.
And $4.20 of each bracelet purchase goes to the Last Prisoner Project, which helps individuals who might be in prison due to cannabis, in addition to finding them lawyers and helping them with their court problems.
I love this podcast and I love the community that I've created here, and I'm so glad that you listen to the show. I found a Taino indigenous bruja botanica by the name of Caraya Magia, and I'm doing a giveaway. So if you're interested in winning, all you got to do is follow me, follow them. When I post that image, just like it. You know, I'm probably just going to post it on Noche Buena, so the 24th, Christmas Eve. I'll post it there, and you can like it by Sunday, the 26th. Just tag a friend and like my page and Caraya Magia's page, and you could be entered to win. And if you win, I'll reach out to you and we'll send you a cute little package that was created with the intention of the clairaudience witch or bruji. I am definitely a bruja who is very sensitive to sounds and voices, and that's my sense that's a lot stronger than the others. And if you're like me, we created something cutesy and fun that will help you be a little bit more protected and balanced. But that's all I have for you. Thank you for listening. I'm so thankful. I'm thankful that you want to spend time and hang out with me. Truly, truly 100%. So thank you for being here. I am looking forward to us connecting again in the future. Be kind to yourself and have a gentle holiday. Bye, y'all.
Yeah.